This is MacVoices TV. This edition of MacVoices TV is brought to you by Rogue Amoeba, makers of fine audio software such as Airfoil. With Airfoil, you can send audio all around your house. That's Airfoil by Rogue Amoeba at rogueamoeba.com. Hi, this is MacVoices TV at Macworld 2011 in San Francisco. I'm in the mobile apps booth talking to Jordan Rudess. You may know him as the keyboard wizard behind Dream Theater. You may know him as the guy who did a feature presentation here at Macworld and blew everyone away. Today, I think the hat he's wearing, though, is app developer. Jordan, it's great to have you on MacVoices TV. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me onto your TV program.
Well,
that's awesome.
I've heard nothing but just amazing things about the session, the feature session you did here at Macworld. I don't know what you did to these people, but everybody came out, and I think they're buying Dream Theater albums.
Wow, they're buying Dream Theater. I hope they're also buying apps. But you know, my whole thing about the reason I'm here is really because I'm very passionate about creating musical instruments, and more than that too, but on these new devices. iPhones and iPads. I really think when I first picked up an iPhone, when I saw the little keyboard that somebody made on there, I was like, kind of like, oh my God, this is amazing. There's so many possibilities for what we can do. And it's been just this work of real passion. I just love this. I think it's so cool. And I had this vision of having a real expressive musical instrument on an iPhone. And I met this fantastic guy who's my partner, Kevin Chartier, who's here floating around somewhere. And he's the programmer, and he's insane because he's willing to make anything that I can imagine, there he is, anything that I can imagine happen. I call him the numerical magician. I say, you know what, I want a tree, and I want clouds floating by, and I want to move my finger, and I want the clouds to move faster when I do that. And he's like, yeah, that should be easy. I'm like, great, okay. So, you know, we love what we do, and, and of course I'm a musician primarily, and the combination of being a musician and being from that kind of mindset and being so excited about what all this technology means to music, I think that's probably what, hopefully, that I kind of transmitted to the audience, and maybe why you heard good things.
So. Well, it always intrigues me when I hear musicians who are basically creating their own interfaces, their own instruments on the new technology. It's one thing to port an instrument over. It's another one to redesign it to something that, and I was watching you play yours just a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
It's something we haven't quite seen before, and yet not only did you design it and learn it, but now you're performing with it.
Right. Definitely, if I can't perform with it, then it's not doing the right thing. I need something that I feel very comfortable with, something that's organic. To me, an instrument, I grew up playing the piano. And then from there, I kind of discovered the Moog synthesizer. And the Moog synthesizer was a very smooth electronic instrument. You turned a knob and sounds subtly would occur. Nothing was jumpy. Like when we moved into the digital age, the first thing people noticed is, wow, it goes, there was like steps, in the process. So now, once again, we're able to do things that are smooth. So that's what I'm after. I don't want to interrupt the music. I want to play. I want to edit. I want things to continue. It's kind of all about that. There's a theme to what we're doing. So.
Do you find any specific challenges moving from an analog instrument world to a digital instrument world?
Well, I did at first. It was definitely some challenges in that. And there's still, that's kind of what we have to keep in mind as we build these things. You don't want things interrupting the musical flow. A musician really doesn't. And a lot of times I think companies get kind of hung up or they get too confused. Maybe there's too many people that are just trying to, get the concept together or get an instrument together. But I feel like one of the things that I can do, and especially in this kind of a small company, it's basically just two guys at the core of it, we're able to kind of make sure that our theme or our vision is maintained in everything we do. We won't release it until I can say, okay, I can perform on that. That feels right. That feels like a musical instrument. The visuals look like something that just feels good when you put your finger down on the iPad and you move it. Yes, that's doing the right thing. It feels like an instrument. It feels like something expressive. It looks cool. And okay, let's release it.
Yes, so. And the look cool part you definitely have down too, because it looks great.
Awesome. Well, I want things to look cool, but I also want things to mean something. When we built MorphWiz, it was about, okay, make this thing look trippy. I want it to look cool. I want people to go, wow, that's really amazing, wild looking. But I also want to give some information. Like we have, for instance, rings that go under your finger, and the rings will literally turn to white when you're in tune. So they're not just like going through the rainbow and just looking cool. They will tell you when you are in tune. There's lines on the screen that you can actually decide how much color you want in the lines. There's moving images that as you play faster, perhaps the moving images will start to accelerate. So everything has a tie-in to the music. So it's really, what we're doing is really about tying in the music and the sound and trying to make those worlds, which naturally they are, but as closely connected as possible. That's what MorphWiz is about.
And it intrigues me too that you're creating the instruments, you're performing with them, you're also putting them online so we can play with them, which makes it really, really exciting, especially for those of us who are not musicians but still like to dabble a little bit.
You know what? That's such a great thing. I mean, I was talking at a panel about a month ago, and also on the panel was Go Wang from Smule, a great guy, and we really see eye to eye about this whole concept, which is that we're excited about making instruments for people. You know, it's something that's inexpensive that, you know, my kids can take, and they're not musicians, but they can, you know, play with, and they can make really nice sound. There are features on it that lets them enjoy music and create sound. Some people are like, oh, you know, but that's not really a musician, and, you know, making things that easy for them, that's not right. You know, they should learn how to play scales on the violin. My feeling is like, you know, to be a professional musician is hard. I don't care what kind of tool I give you, if it automatically will play in tune or anything. Unless you spend time with it or have a concept, you're not going to do anything that's going to threaten a real musician. However, you could play on something that gives you a lot of pleasure and maybe even gives other people pleasure to be around as you're making these really nice sounds and having fun with music. So I'm all about giving the maximum number of people the chance to have fun with music, to enjoy it. And I love that about the iPhone and, you know, the iPad. I think it's so great that all these creative minds here are able to make things that kind of like open up new channels of people's thinking. I remember playing this one app that I found was just balls moving on the screen. I think it's called Balls. And you just throw the balls on the screen, they knock into the sides, they're playing all different, you know, notes, and it's awesome. And that kind of thing is great. You know, so I'm all for this movement. I think it's the future, and I've invested a lot of energy into it, and I'll continue to.
I hope so.
I think it's great.
Well, now we've talked a lot, and I know you have a lot of people here that want to talk to you, so can you give us just a quick demo of the app itself and what it sounds like?
Sure. Well, I'll play a little bit of something that you can see. I'll play against the backing track. You can really get the feel for the, you know, for what MorphWiz can express. So I'll start without the backing track and let you kind of see what happens on the screen. So every note is individually expressed. I can raise this one up in volume and bend it while this one goes down. And I can start my backing track and play my song. And then slide. Change to another key. Watch.
Thank you, Jordan. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
right.
amazing. We have to ask for the specifics. What's the name of the app? And obviously it's in the App Store just waiting for people to go and try to do what you just did.
Totally. Well, it's called MorphWiz, and it runs on the iPhone and the iPod and the iPad. And it's there now on the store, on the App Store. It costs $10, and everything I did, you can do too. Practice a little bit, it might help. That always helps. But if you're a kid, and you just want to buy MorphWiz, you can scroll through patches, you can have all kinds of fun without having to know anything. You can play lots of spacey sounds, like you might want to play something really crazy, like so you just basically hit this button and you can make alien sounds and have different visuals come up. You might have something that's cool and bassy. There's 80 patches on here, and they're all designed by yours truly, and I think they're all a lot of fun. So that's MorphWiz.
A lot of us are going to have a lot of fun with this.
All right, cool.
Jordan, thank you so much for the time. Really, really appreciate it. It's great to see you. Have a great show.
All right.
I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices TV in San Francisco at Macworld. We'll be back again soon. Thanks for watching.
MacVoices TV is part of the MacVoices Group and a member of Mac Level 10.